real-time product. It's been around since the early 90s, late 80s, something like that.
Well, before that was Prism.
Prisms before that, right. Before that it was, where did Greg and Kim get it from?
Before that it was called Crystal.
And then Omnibus, right, computer graphics way back in the 80s.
Yeah, so it's been around.
Yeah. So basically it's the package that people choose when Maya and Softimage and 3D Max can't do what they do. And one of the founders of the company Side Effects that makes Houdini left and turned Houdini into a real-time visual processing and effects stuff program. So what does that all mean? So basically there's layers and layers of nested connections going on. So there are a bunch of operators that are used to build up networks of graphics processing. These are basically containers, so geometries, lights, cameras, etc. The top stands the texture operator, so there's many different things you can do to process the textures. Fairly obvious 2D compositing stuff, if you've done any kind of 2D compositing. Chops are really powerful. This is where you manipulate all the data that's going through the system. CHOP stands for channel operators. SOP is what's known as a surface operator, so this tends to be models, geometry, that kind of stuff. Materials pretty obvious, and then these are data operators, so you can do all kinds of stuff with data, basically. So as a very quick example, we could bring a sphere here, and so that's a 3D object. It looks 3D, but we're rotating around like that. And say we want to just drag in data here. Let's grab the timing chop, which is basically reading MIDI clock in like that. So this is real-time data coming in. And then
What sorts of timing data can you have? You said MIDI clock, but I'm assuming you can also take audio levels. You can take.
Oh yeah.
I know Russ had said something about OCR input at some point. So
OC, yep. So
yeah, OCR,
basically the Java app we have running with the Wiimote stuff comes in OSC.
Okay.
You can actually use an iPhone with an OSC program on it. You can use it over Wi-Fi. There's a bazillion kinds of data that come in and out of touch. And basically, the key of it is all data manipulation, and within all these operators, you can actually pass data back and forth. And I'll show you a little bit of that in a second here. So, just for kicks, I'm going to run this into a null chop, and then from here, I'm going to export that data to one of the parameters here on the sphere. So I'm going to export it to the X radius like that. So now the sphere is doing that. Okay. Now, being all procedural, anytime I want to, I can put in another operator here like this. And so now that's a math chop, and I can then dial my values like this. So now it's not actually shrinking to 0, it's just going 0.5 to 2.
So you can drop your different operators onto a link between two different objects, and it automatically, you don't have to like click your little string and pull it to the other thing, right? You drop it on a link and it. Wow, that's
depending on what you want to do. Yeah, there's multiple ways you can do it, and of course each one of these you can choose whether it's nerves, polygons, primitives, all kinds of different stuff like that. So this is a full 3D authoring program. It's just a procedural authoring program, which is a very different paradigm from running 3D stuff. And then from here we can do things like, let's say, take this circle on this, and we're going to copy this circle, and then it comes back, and grow this up in size. That. Rotate it around. that kind of stuff. And then from here, you can add in many more kinds of controls. So I've got my MIDI controllers hooked up in here, so MIDI in is here. And so I'm just going to hit slider to 1. Buttons. And so then now it's this slider right here. So again, data coming in like that. And same thing, I can choose to modify this data however I want to, like this. Drop it on.
What kind of 3D files does this thing like to take? I mean, will it take STLs or?
FPX is the best way.
Oh yeah.
Yep. FPX, and then it saves its own kinds of as well. So now we're going 0.5 to 10 like that, and then just I can drop that on the scale of this source circle right here. So then I can manipulate like this. And then let's see here. Let's go and make a slice here. So now I've dropped that geometry into an object, just this right here, and that material on it. And same thing with the objects. Any one of these fields can have a control foot on it. Any one of these fields can have data pass back and forth. You can actually read geometry into a channel operator. So let me show you that. I'm just going to say, okay, I want to take let's see. So